T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
That's right. This is Sports and Other Stuff. Headlines: Clemson players test positive. Not bad for a running back. Indeed. Underrated NFL running backs, and we'll reveal our favorite sports movies. So here's our lead story. 23 Clemson football players have tested positive for the coronavirus. Most of the cases have been asymptomatic, and none have required hospitalization. The NHL has 11 positive cases, and in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies have 8. And at least 3 MLB teams have shut down their spring training facilities due to the virus. So, gentlemen, give me a go or no-go for college football launch this year.
It ain't happening, I don't think. I think when you've got that many players testing positive on one team, I mean, with the closeness and guys working out in weight rooms, and I just don't see it happening. I mean, those guys on Clemson, nobody's been really affected. Well, they're not saying about the 2 assistant coaches, what their condition is, but the athletes haven't been particularly affected as far as was able to read. But those athletes go out into the public, you know, they've got to take classes and everything. And probably the student body certain members of the student body will be far more susceptible to COVID than these guys are. So I don't think you're going to have college football this season. At this point. And I'm sad to say that because I really like college football.
Worth noting, Lugs is joining us on a Watts line on this broadcast from AT&T. And now we'll turn it over to T-Dog. Mr. Dog, your thoughts on college football?
I have to agree
go?
I have to agree with Lugs. Because some of the other schools, 14 student athletes tested positive at Kansas State. And they supposedly, at least the football players, that the head coach, Chris Kleiman, said the 15% that aren't following the rules and got tested positive and whatnot, they went out to a party that weekend. So it just, you know, it just takes one big mistake for it to flare up that large. LSU's already quarantined 30 players. Some tested positive after visiting local bars. Houston already suspended voluntary workouts June the 12th after 6 student athletes tested positive. And the University of Texas has 13 football players that have tested positive. So
it's tough.
I just don't see it going away.
Over the weekend, we had the worst day in the world for the number of cases worldwide was Saturday last weekend.
Would you all agree? It just seems like a lot of people are like, oh, it's over. And I guess just people aren't paying attention or.
Yeah, I think they're just tired, you know, and any opportunity to just get out and get rid of some of that cabin fever. But I tell you, it ain't gone. And I think it's going to come back stronger here. And, you know, I do believe there will be a bounce. I hate to say that. I'd prefer it be over myself, of course, but I think we have to be prepared.
Well, it sounds like a lot of doctors aren't even talking about even there being a second wave now. Now they're just like, it'll just stay continuous. Maybe it stays at a lower level, but it's not going to ever completely dip and then rise back up. It'll just be continuous until, you know, it hits that, I guess, that magic number. Because either we get a vaccine or it hits the magic number where enough people have become infected that, it quits spreading for a while. It won't go away, but, it'll dip consistently just because at least up to 2/3, if not like 70% people get infected with it. So
if we have no college football, will we have NFL football?
Well, that's the thing that's fascinating too. Is you probably saw last week that Anthony Fauci's like, unless they do it in a bubble, like how the NBA wants to do it, he doesn't see how it's gonna be possible. And obviously, Texans players have already tested positive. Dallas players have tested positive.
Tampa Bay as well. They've had a couple.
Tampa Bay, yeah. So. And the teams haven't even come together fully yet. Like some of them tested positive. Like actually 49ers, I think certain players tested positive. So
yeah, there's been no OTAs even yet, and here we are.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the NFL's so stubborn. They'll have something. I don't know what it'll look like. I think something will happen with the NFL. It might be a shortened season. It might be like a strike season without there actually being a strike, or maybe there's an 8-game season. And then maybe they just go off of like premiership, maybe like wins and losses. They might not even do the playoffs. They might be like wins and losses. And then if there's a team that's tied, like go by a team that has a highest point differential. I don't know. I think it will happen, but it might be something screwy, is what I'll say for the NFL.
Well, I was just going to say the dollars dictate what's going to happen really with the NFL. I mean, that's a mass moneymaker.
Not bad for a running back.
Not bad for a running back, indeed. Ravens quarterback and reigning NFL MVP Lamar Jackson was revealed as the cover athlete for Madden NFL 21. If I had to describe how I play, Jackson said in the video announcing him as the game's cover athlete, you gotta see it to believe it. Gentlemen, do we love this, or is this the much ballyhooed curse?
Well, I think the Campbell's Hearty Soup is the curse. As long as he's not on the Campbell's Hearty Soup, he'll be okay.
That was Cam, wasn't it? Wasn't that Cam?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you go back, it's like 3 or 4 in a row, the Campbell's Hearty Soup. As soon as they were on the can, bad injuries, whatever. It just happened.
I think Reggie White did that
Lamar,
too. Reggie White's dead. You're right.
Well, yeah, he got a bad can of soup, I guess. But
sorry, bad humor. Sorry, Packer fans.
I know. It's yeah, well,
Go ahead.
But
go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I'm glad to see Lamar, getting some props from everybody. Not that he hasn't gotten a bunch, but it's kind of cool. And, his Louisville connection makes it even sort of sweeter for any of us folks around here.
I don't think he'll be cursed by this. I think he's too talented. I think that the way that team is built right now, it has too much talent around him. I mean, they only got better in the draft and the offseason. Their schedule, I think, is also easier than it was last year. So, maybe going back to, I guess, the last topic, maybe COVID kind of shuts it down, and that's quote-unquote the curse. But other than that, I don't see anything going wrong. The only thing I will say is you all probably saw this video. You need to stay away from jet skis.
What? I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was playing football on the beach, and he was running away from his opponents, and he plowed into a jet ski. Luckily, he wasn't injured or hurt, but it's like, I'm sure John Harbaugh saw that. He probably had a coronary.
Oh, I mean, because he could have popped the knee on that deal.
Yeah.
This is, I'm looking at the prompt here. This is Campbell Soup calling in on line 2 to talk to Mr. Lugs. Are you there? Hello?
Hello, caller.
Campbell Soup.
Wolfgang Puck guy.
What's that? What's it again?
I think Lugs is a Wolfgang Puck guy.
No, I'm a Wolfgang Schmuck guy.
Wolfman Jack, yeah.
Okay, T-Dog, you wanted to talk about NFL running backs, so I yield the floor to you.
Oh, I just wanted to go over, kind of going from last week, underappreciated quarterbacks. Gonna do underappreciated running backs this year.
You have the floor.
I want to say, kind of dovetailing or working from last week, Phillip Rivers left San Diego or Los Angeles. Sorry, still having problems with it.
Yeah, me too.
One of his old teammates, Austin Ekeler, he will now be the man in the backfield with Melvin Gordon gone.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Melvin Gordon last year, Austin Ekeler had 557 yards rushing and 993 yards receiving and 11 touchdowns. So now he went from being a tandem back. I mean, he'll still probably be in a tandem, but still, he's probably going to have a heavier workload.
Feature back?
So, yeah, it'll be more featured because his only competition is Joshua Kelly, who was a fourth-round draft pick out of UCLA, and Justin Jackson out of Northwestern the last 2 years. So, and we know Anthony Lynn wants to run the ball more, coming from his background from Buffalo. So, I don't know. I see him having a huge year. And if you – the other underlying thing for him is you look at their wide receiver core outside of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, their third and fourth wide receivers are nothing to write home about. He'll probably be playing as a slot receiver or out wide sometimes when they go into three receiver sets.
Remind me, who's pitching the ball? Who's the quarterback?
It'll be Tyrod Taylor.
That's right.
And probably also
Wow.
Justin Herbert. So
Herbert.
Yeah, I think as long as Tyrod shows up, because Tyrod's arm is still strong and he can still run that ball. So that's a wishbone attack there.
Bizarrely enough, Tyrod's main weakness, I mean, I'm not going to say he doesn't have other ones. His main weakness is he's too conservative. He's not willing to take chances. Because other than that, like you said, like he can run. He's good at protecting the ball. Like he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. It's just that he's not willing to take risk. And I think even like the top quarterbacks have to be willing to sometimes like roll the dice.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good team, doesn't it? The Chargers sounds like a pretty good team. Christening that new stadium and everything.
The craziest thing is their best part of their team is their defense. I mean, we won't get into it, but their defense is going to be a top 5 defense.
Go ahead, Lugs. You're on the air.
About Stephon Diggs.
He's with Buffalo.
Right. Is he buried now?
No.
I mean, do they have an offense? Okay.
So just since we're kind of going into another topic, so let me guess. How do you feel about Josh Allen?
I like Josh Allen.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs will be fine. Like John Brown, I believe, had 1,000 yards receiving, and no disrespect to John Brown, obviously Stephon Diggs is probably most people would say he's better. So Stephon Diggs will probably, if he gets the amount of targets he probably should get, he'll probably get 1,100 yards receiving if there's no injury. So he'll be fine.
And we all know that AFC East is wide open. AFC East, baby.
Wide open.
Wide open.
Except for the Jets.
I think we can pull an XFL team and do a little damage.
Well, they're sitting out there ready for you.
Jordan Ta'amu, where are you?
Jordan Ta'amu.
I can tell you, he's with the Chiefs. That's where he's at.
Favorite or best sport movies? Our top flight interns and research department went to work, and with input from you, our listener, notice that was singular, listener, here's where we stand. Okay, gentlemen, your favorite sports movie? Lugs.
Top one would be Bull Durham. Second would be Field of Dreams. And then for just giggles and overall whatever, Slapshot.
Wow. Good list.
It is a good list.
You know.
So much so that I agree with you on my favorite is Slapshot. So it was